Tesla just opened up the Supercharger network in the US. Not all sites, but some sites. So I thought this was a good time to explain how it all works. I mean, in general, this is only for the V3 superchargers. The older ones work a bit differently. And the new ones also can be configured differently. But this is, what should I call it? Uh, in general, this is how it works. So, this is a typical EV fast charger. It can supply up to 350 kilowatts to one car. So from 50, 150, or 350 kilowatts, yeah, that's only to one car. One charger, one car. And it usually has a 22 kilowatt AC plug too that can charge all type of yeah, it can charge all sorts of vehicles, but at a much lower speed. Usually cars don't have 22 watts. They can only take around 10, with a few exceptions, of course, that only have AC charging, and yeah, those can take up to 22 kilowatts. So this is how a typical charger is basically wasted, because there's all the capacity and it goes to one car. So what Tesla did, it's kind of amazing. So they take the power from the grid. How much do they take? Well, this drawing is for 8 stalls, 8 cars simultaneously. And how much do they take? 380 plus 380. Yeah, because their chargers can go up to 580 kilowatts in theory, but they don't get it from the grid. They only get 380 from the grid each, and then they can share 200 kilowatts between them if there's excess capacity here and it's needed somewhere here for one of these cars. So yeah, this is kind of nice, and it also means some serious things here. For example, there's no way that all cars can charge at 250 kilowatts, which is the maximum now for Teslas and most other EVs. They don't go about 250. So the total would be 2 megawatts. And the input is nowhere near that. It's only like 760 kilowatts. So yeah, there's no way that all the cars charge at once with 250. So what does this mean? This means that Tesla needs a lot of empty stalls, so not many cars are charging at once, or they need slow charging cars, which which is why they opened up the charging network, I think, because all the other brands charge much slower. Like the GM Chevy Bolt, Volt, Bolt, the Bolt, EUV and SUV, they both cap out at 52 kilowatts. So if they take up a stall or two or three, they don't, that doesn't even matter. In the grand scheme of things, it can't, these dual chargers can handle it, no problem. But when a 250 kilowatt, let's say Model Y comes here and starts charging with optimal battery temperature, that will take one third, one third of the energy. So that's That's very interesting. So the Model Y can charge at maximum speed for at least about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. And that means that for 10 minutes, let's say two model two Model Ys are charging. I don't know how much energy remains for the other cars. So yeah, because 2 times 250, that's 500, and that's very close to the maximum of 6, I mean 760. So all the other cars would have to be already at the end of the charge when lithium ion batteries charge slower, a lot slower, like 50 kilowatts, around 50. So about 260 kilowatts would be divided. Wait, I ran out of the screen. Oh boy. This would be divided for 10 minutes at least among 6 stalls. 6 times 4, 4, 4.5. What am I doing? Yeah, something like this. So around 40 kilowatts each. So when two Model Ys are charging at maximum speed, then all the others can get around 40 kilowatts. And that's an interesting thing to consider because 40 kilowatts for a Chevy Bolt means almost maximum power. They don't notice at all. But if a Cybertruck comes in, or a Rivian, or what's that new one? Ionic 6 or Kia EV6, whatever, I don't know what they're called. Ionic 5 and EV6, yeah. They can go up to 250 kilowatts for a longer period of time, like 15 minutes, I think. So if they come in and notice that the chargers can't output what they should, that's a problem. With Model S and X currently, the latest ones, that's not a real problem. They charge usually around 150 kilowatts. So yeah, these are just random ideas about how things could go. But yeah, just look at the savings on a configuration like this compared to that, where they need one charger for two cars. That is just unsustainable. And yeah, they just can't do it right. It doesn't make sense to, when it breaks down or boot loops or something, the computer shuts down. It's not worth it for them to come out and fix it right away. They just leave it broken, and whenever they have time and they pass by, let's stop there and reboot the computer. So yeah, this is not worth it, and this costs like $150,000. This just to charge two cars, $150, $1,000, 150,000. This one, um, if I remember correctly, Tesla said that it averages out to $30,000 per stall. So this unit must be about 120,000 dollars, but it serves 4 cars and even more potentially, because when high speeds are not needed here for the 4, then it supplies 200 kilowatts to the other charger. So theoretically, it's let's say 6 cars. It serves 6 cars. So that's kind of an interesting thing. 120 grand versus this 120 grand, where it only serves one fast charging car and one slow charging car, and here it can serve, let's say, 6 fast charging cars at once. So yeah, that's an amazing difference. And also, yeah, what is this? This is the Tesla Mega Pack, which is kind of an interesting product. Even my voice changed because it's so exciting. Because what they can do here to help things along, yeah, this is cheating. This is a large battery pack that can store 3.8 megawatt hours, and it can output 1.9 megawatt hours, which means it can cover, let's say, at least 8 uh, cars charging at maximum speed. So if they add one of these without affecting the grid, they don't need more power from the grid. They just hook up this mega pack right here, where all the other chargers can share 200 kilowatts. They hook this up in a way that every charging unit gets 200 kilowatts or whatever. I think they can crank it up to more. So the full 580 kilowatts would be supplied from the battery. And then, what was I going to say? It doesn't affect the grid. But what was my revelation here? Yeah, kind of forgot. Forgot, forgot, forgot. Please insert disk. Little brain fart there. I didn't know what I was thinking. I mean, literally. I lost my trail of thought. So, if they connect the mega pack to each of the chargers, let's say there are 16 stalls and 4 chargers, then the mega pack can provide at least 40% of the total power, so each charger would charge at maximum speed. What does maximum speed mean? 580 divided by 4. That's 150. So, with a mega pack, they can guarantee 150 kilowatts for each charger, each car, all the way for a 16 stall charging station without requiring any energy from the grid. This is just speculation because I don't know exactly what comes out of the mega pack. Does this output DC or AC? I think they can configure it to the output DC. So then each connection to the chargers would output this 580. No energy from the grid needed. And it would charge for 1 hour. So if there's no power from the grid, the mega pack will charge all 8 cars for an hour, which is not realistic because cars usually stay only 20-30 minutes. So yeah, it can serve 32 cars in an hour without any power from the grid. 32 cars, 150 kilowatts. Now let's calculate some costs because that's also interesting. Ooh, I don't have the price of the mega pack. Let me just check really quick. Mega pack price. Yeah, that's $10 million, I think. What? $1 million. Let me see. Oh, $1.2 million. So this is $1.2 million, which is seemingly a lot, but not really. And the chargers are 120. And in my hypothesis for 32 cars, I used double this infrastructure. So four of these chargers, which is like $500,000, that's under 2 million, which is actually not that much for even a gas station, I think. Building a gas station should cost a lot. In fact, let me just look it up. Price to build gas station. 250 and 1000 and 2 million. So I was really close. Yeah, let's say 2 million. Yeah, exactly the cost of a gas station. That's hilarious. So, yeah, this all should fit under $2 million with the mega pack and everything. And what they can also add to this, yeah, but for that they need the grid. They can add solar energy from anywhere else. They buy a cheap land, put some solar panels on it, feed it to the grid, and get the energy out here at the supercharging station. And it's basically free. I mean, their own pricing. They can uh, sell the energy to the grid and then buy it back at the supercharger site. So that's another interesting fact that the mega pack will help do. And yeah, $2 million for 16 chargers and the backup battery for 32 cars charged. Yeah, I need to think some more about this, the consequences it may have. But this is really, really interesting in my opinion.